I'll tell you what, there'll be a statue at the front next to what it was there. You know what I mean? And probably a statue all around the country, monuments around the country of Jeff Horn. But it's Anthony Mundine, you know. They sound controversial. I'm not controversial. I'm just the best. And I believe it. I embrace it. And I let people know why I'm the best. I work hard to get what I got. I work hard. I bust my ass. You know what I mean? To do. But I fight injustice. I talk the truth. And that rattles people the wrong way. But I speak from the heart. I speak truth. I don't speak. There's no grey with me. There's black and white, man. You know what I mean? I keep it real. I keep it 100 all the time. And that's why I've been perceived to be the villain. What do you call me? With the Harry Potter?
I said that if this was a Harry Potter movie, Jeff would be Harry Potter and Anthony would be Voldemort.
So they always portray me the villain. I ain't no villain, but you want me to...
I'll pause it right there and tell you what's going on before we listen to the rest of it. Wow, it's been a long-ass time since I covered the Anthony Mundine fight. Things have changed a lot, right? I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I'm going to say this. I'm wondering if because of Jeff Horn's affiliation with Top Rank, will ESPN Plus pick this fight up? It will be on November the 30th here in the States at about 7. The main event will be at about 6:30, 7 a.m.-ish. You know, that's usually what time the main events happen. It's going to be in the same stadium, my understanding, where Suncorp Stadium is where Pacquiao fought Jeff Horn, right? It's going to be Anthony Mundine's last fight. He's 43 years old. It's one of those things, kind of like they say with Sugar Ray Leonard, where he was born like 2 decades too late or something. Same thing with Anthony Mundine. Like now, this is his last fight. If he was just born just 1 decade later, he would have been, around that global star-ish. For example, look at a guy like Adrian Broner, right? Even though he may not always perform up to his best standards in his biggest fights, he's about to get a payday with either Manny Pacquiao and or Floyd Mayweather. Why? It's because he's got a mouthpiece. A lot of people don't understand is that when you're a boxer, you gotta have mic skills. You got to talk a little shit. I understand that the sport is supposed to be respectful and everything, but boxers all want to be rich, right? Look at Errol Spence. Don't get me wrong. We got a little bit of a situation. I'm going to tell you the backstory to that one day, but looking at Errol Spence, right? He is a hardcore boxing fan's dream. But what does he bring to the casual market outside of knockouts? Anthony Mundine is always making headlines over there in Australia, New Zealand, that oceanic area. Why? It's because he's a controversial figure. He speaks his mind. It's not a bad thing. The fight is going to be taking place November the 30th. It's going to be on pay-per-view over there in Australia and hopefully over here. ESPN Plus will pick it up. Nonetheless, I'm going to be covering it regardless. It's going to be at a catchweight of 156.5. Mundine's last fight was at 160, 175 technically cruiserweight when he fought Danny Green, but he weighed in a little over light heavy, and he was on a nice little run here. He ran into that trouble with Joshua Clottey. But he was on a nice run here and on his way to a WBC title shot until he ran into Charles Hatley. Charles Hatley ended up beating him. Charles Hatley ended up going on to fight Jermell Charlo. So now it's really nowhere else to go. This is a big money fight. I'm glad they got it done, especially, with Jeff Horn being a 147-pounder. Technically, he's a 154-pounder that boils down to 147 pounds. But nonetheless, the fact that it's at a catch weight, obviously the money is there because boxing over in Australia, Anthony Mundine has been boxing over there in Australia. And in that general area, he's still the number one draw. I mean, we don't know. Let's see how things go when Joseph Parker returns. You got Tim Tszyu working his way up, Costa Tszyu, in that, and I'm talking about, like I said, between New Zealand and Australia, Lucas Brown, but nonetheless, this is kind of going to be considered a passing of the torch type of thing with both of these fighters. And of course, Jeff Horn is the favorite to win, and Jeff Horn's got a lot of heart. We've seen that. Like, he's not a type of, he'll get his ass whooped before he quit. And one thing he doesn't do is he's always coming forward. He always has that heart to believe that he can win. For example, his trainer, I forgot this guy's name, was talking about how, Jeff Horn, motherfucker, you see how he just...
I'll get through this one and then we'll really close hard in the last few. But we didn't get to see that day, but I have no doubt in Jeff's abilities, and he delivers. I mean, we saw what happened over in New Zealand. He got a violent head clash, and suddenly we've gone from being well up into the fight. They scored it as a knockdown. It wasn't a knockdown, it was a head clash, but he just got up, and I said, Jane, you've got to knock him out now, and he did. I mean, Bailey said when he hits Jeff Horn, it's all over. I said, no, you just don't know Jeff Horn. I said, when you hit Jeff Horn, it's all just going to start. You're just going to galvanise him. He's going to come back like an angry swarm of hornets at the end. And that's exactly what he did. Bailey landed his great shot. It was a shot that had dropped Mike Jones and put him away. And he had knocked out his first 26 opponent.
I remember that Randall Bailey fucked Mike Jones up. Career was never the same. Shit was all leaking and everything.
Understand Randall Bailey. That's a very big puncher there. But Jeff just took it on the chin. His hand touched the floor and he got up. And even again in Crawford, Jeff was the knockdown that occurred in round 9. It's only Jeff was off back.
I do not agree with this, but listen to him. They got that. That's their shit. That's Jeff Horn. And his team shit. He's got that warrior mentality. We ain't gonna stop until we get knocked the fuck out. Ain't no throwing in the towel, but whatever. To each his own.
Balance. His glove touched the floor. That's all that happened. His glove touched the floor. And he just pushed off the floor and got up. He was never physically, his body wasn't on the ground. And in that fight, when they stopped it, he got hit once, he missed the next two. He was stepping off the ropes and they stopped the fight. So, Jeff Horn said to me, I said, did Crawford hurt you? And he said, never. He never hurt me. So if the best fighter on the planet can't hurt Jeff Horn, then I know he can take on a guy 2 divisions up. And that's not in any way downgrading Anthony. I know what Anthony did when he fought Sven Otke in his 11th fight, to fight a guy of that caliber, and he was winning that fight quite clearly when the stoppage occurred. And as Anthony said, it was...
Did you know that every Anthony Mundine fight has been on pay-per-view over there in the UK? Isn't that a fact? Right? It's crazy. If you look at Jeff Horn, you got to be happy for him, because if you look at the paydays he's got the Pacquiao payday, and then he got that homecoming payday where it was like, okay, you're the man, Jeff Horn. And then, he got that Vegas payday, ESPN over here in the States with Terrence Crawford, and now he's getting a stadium pay-per-view payday. So he's had a pretty, profitable career in the last year. Just over a year. 16 months. He fought Pacquiao last July. It's crazy. But I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe. So obviously, I am going to be covering the whole the fight. It was a little difficult getting this press conference, but you can find it on Facebook. News 7 Brisbane. Oh, we got to watch the face-off. Duh. Tripping.
That's the right part, but the actual fight, that's the fun part. And I'm going to have fun. Let's do it.
Jeff?
Mundine, no one's questioning how well you've done in the sport, that's for sure. You've done amazing things. I just thought of one thing. I'm like, he's lucky you called yourself the man, Mundine, because I keep getting called the boy right now. Maybe that might be swapped over by the end of this.
Well, on the night of the 30th, you're still going to be the boy. I'm going to still be the man. You know what I mean?
All right.
I'm old enough to be his daddy. I'll whip him. He should have signed a contract. Should have done that, son. Now you get whipped for it.
Can we get the man and the hornet to be up here and do the face-off, please?
Let me see if I can get us the face-off. me see if I can get us to face off. Somebody sent it to me.
Just put your fist up. Left hand. Want to face and make the front again? Just one more time. Just face the front again, just for 10 more seconds. We'll keep going if you want.
Still working out strategies.
But like I said, I'm going to be covering the card November the 30th. Hopefully ESPN picks it up. But if not, then obviously, you know, I have my sources. I'm going to be covering and watching the fight regardless. But it would be easier if it was on ESPN Plus. Where does Jeff Horn go from here if he wins or loses? I don't know. You know, he did have a baby. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. I don't think he would retire. But we'll see. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe.